On to business now. Charles is joining us. He's starting, sadly, oil prices. They're rising again, aren't they, after fighting has picked up again between the US and Iran?
Yeah, whether it's the Brent crude benchmark or the West Texas Intermediate, both those futures contracts are on the rise right now as concerns over how long commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz will continue to be disrupted. Reminder, this used to be where 20% of the world's oil and natural gas used to transit through. So a major choke point, the Brent crude, just under $97 a barrel. Before the war started, there were over 100 crossings every day. Now, based on marine traffic data, it's only a handful. But even the exchange of fire between the U.S. and Iran over the past 2 days has led that trickle of traffic going through to slow down to a very slow drip of mostly Iran-linked vessels. Only two ships getting into the Persian Gulf on Wednesday. There were 0 ships leaving the Persian Gulf on Wednesday, while over the weekend, while there were encouraging signals on talks between the warring parties, 6 ships left on May 23rd and 8 left on May 24th.
And what about equities then, Charles? How's it affecting those?
So we're seeing losses on most of the major Asian bourses in countries notably heavily dependent on this imported Middle Eastern oil like Japan and South Korea. The Shanghai Composite, the only one bucking that trend in the region. That momentum bleeding into European markets at the open as well, with shares trading lower there to the FTSE in London down 0.2%.
Now, up next, an historic lawsuit. This is in Australia, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. The government in Canberra said it is launching a $2 billion legal action. It's about 1.23 billion euros against U.S. consumer goods giant 3M, famous for making protective masks used during the COVID pandemic, but also Post-its and Scotch tape. This, though, is not about masks, but about firefighting foam used to put out fires, which may have been contaminated with forever chemicals. As many as 28 military bases in the country may have been affected. The government saying this might be the most significant legal action it has ever taken. Let's take a listen to Australia's Attorney General.
This included withholding 3M's own environmental laboratory testing, which showed there was significant adverse environmental effects associated with the use of 3M firefighting foam, representing that 3M firefighting foam could be safely disposed of, was biodegradable and not toxic.
3M denies the claims and says they will defend themselves through the legal process.
Now we're going to take you to Brazil for this next story. It's expanding its drilling for oil in the Amazon rainforest.
Brazilian state oil giant Petrobras announced $500 million in investments for new wells at the Urucu oil field in the western Amazon. With President Lula da Silva present, Petrobras says new wells are expected to boost production there by some 20% and create thousands of jobs. Environmental advocates, though, fear further damage to the already threatened ecosystem. Brian Quinn has the details.
In western Brazil Wednesday, Lula da Silva was all smiles as he visited a construction site of the state oil giant Petrobras. The president making no apologies as he backed a $500 million expansion of operations there.
We're Brazilians, we love Brazil, and we love Petrobras. We want to live well, we want to work well, and we want to enjoy life, and that will only happen if the economy grows.
For the first time in a decade, Brazil is planning new oil wells in the Amazon rainforest, 22 of them to both boost production and explore for new reserves. The Urucu oil and gas field in the state of Amazonas is Brazil's largest onshore site, producing some 105,000 barrels per day. Petrobras chief Magda Chambriard, appointed by Lula in 2024, says the investment should boost production by 20% and create some 14,000 jobs. Environmental campaigners, though, have sought to convince the government to ban fossil fuel exploration in the already severely threatened rainforest. The government, meanwhile, is also planning to invest $75 million to upgrade a highway through the Amazon, a project that environmentalists say will lead to increased deforestation and accelerating climate change. Lula, who hosted the COP30 UN climate conference in the Amazonian city of Belém this past November, says that he is opposed to fossil fuels in principle, but that society needs them, including for the financing of the green energy transition. His government had promised to deliver a roadmap for Brazil's own transition away from oil and gas by February. It has yet to do so.
Brian Quinn reporting there. Charles, before you go, Charles has been telling us over the last few days about Ferrari's new electric car, but I've got something to show you. Have a look at this. This is Pope Leo. He actually got behind the wheel of Ferrari's first all-electric car at his residence in Castel Gandolfo, near to Rome. The Pope is, in fact, a well-known car enthusiast. I didn't actually know that, but anyway, he was even, apparently, let's just wait for him to get in, because he does get in and sit behind the wheel. Apparently, he was even given a steering wheel to it as a bit of a tribute. You never know. Perhaps one day he'll be able to afford the rest of the car as well. He could just sort of stick the steering wheel up. Perhaps he'll get a discount if he buys the whole thing. Cause he's
Maybe
really
he just
got
has the keychain.
The keychain. Yeah. Nice to see Shell Pedro with business for us on France 24.